الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وآله وصحبه وأزواجه وذريته أجمعين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أرنا حقائق الأشياء كما هي. ربنا زدنا علما وعملا وإخلاصا. اللهم فرج عن أخواننا في غزة وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. Okay. So we haven't done this for a while, so I'm not sure where we had to stop, but we'll just start from here. How to study contemporary capitalism then? And my first answer is this. As a set of social institutions, my first answer is not as an economy, but as a society. So capitalist economy presupposes, or predominance of capitalist economy presupposes a capitalist society. And I guess capitalist society would presuppose a capitalist individuality, particular socialization process, and that will include capitalist state as well, I guess, in a form of rationality, educational system, etc. That would be my take anyway. As a system of social actions and a set of social institutions falling, so we should treat capitalism as a social system of social action and a system of social institution, a set of social falling in the domain of sociological rather than today's standard economic theory. Because economic theory is in a sense abstraction. Economic theory doesn't really tell you how economy works. So in that sense, economics is an ideology of capitalism because it tells you how it should work. So in that sense, it's a normative thing, economic theory. Okay. I think we might have done this before, but it doesn't matter. Not to be confused with the economic theory as defined by Alfred Marshall. Political economy or economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It examines the part of individual and social actions which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of the material requisites of well-being. Thus, it is on the one side a study of wealth, and on the other, and more importantly, on more important side, the part of the study of man. So a study economics for Marshall is to study a man. So I study wealth and their relationship, and what should be their relationship, I guess. I owe this reference to whoever. That doesn't matter. Okay, so this is in fact the tradition of political economy in the 19th century. That is Ricardo and Marx and all those people. Political economic theory was to identify the actors and interest underlying or hiding behind the laws of movement of the economy, translating economic relations into social relations, and showing that former to be a special case of the latter. That is, economic relations are part and parcel of general social relations. So, treating the economy as a society or as socially and politically constructed or constituted. So that was the method of political economy, which treat economy as constructed by a state and a society, or at least economy presupposes that is, and that is obverse of the treating society as an economy, which is the approach of rational choice economic imperialism. But the merit of rational choice theory is that it tells us what is the ideal conception of individuality and society is of a capitalist rationality. So what type of individual and rationality and society capitalism and its preponderance presupposes? So rational choice theory, in a sense, tells us that if capitalism is actually um successful, then that's how society is going to society and individual would increasingly look like. So in that sense, even though it doesn't tell us how a given society is like empirically speaking, it does tell us how it should be. So in a sense, it is and political economy, as he is describing it here, won't be able to do that if it treating or claiming that a society or state can go beyond capitalism, because as capitalism progresses, it actually swallows its very basis, that is society as well as the state, and um, overwhelm them and captures them in a sense. So indeed, ultimately, the approach I suggest accounts to a sort of imperialism as well, only in the opposite direction, the sociology to economics. But sociology and economics both are capitalist sciences, with the proviso that economics provide the justification for capitalist economy, while sociology provide justification for capitalism as a social order. Okay. So now starting with the definition of capitalist society. So a capitalist society is a society that has instituted its economy in a capitalist manner, in that it has coupled its material provision to the private accumulation of capital. So a capitalist society is a society which capitalist society is a society that has instituted its economy in a capitalist manner, and he defined capitalist manner as firstly private accumulation of capital. So capital is anything whose sole purpose is to increase its quantity. So capitalist society is a society, according to Straycare, in which an individual or private individuals or groups dedicate or run economy or the businesses on the manner in which the main purpose is accumulation, for the sake of accumulation, but in their private space or for their private interest. So in a sense, that is a limit on accumulation, because accumulation is being done for individual or group needs or for the sake of measured in the money. So money, because money is something which is the most, in a capitalist system, liquid element, in the sense that if you have a physical thing, you have to consume it and then exchange it, and then buy it and sell it and consume it, and then the process of accumulation will complete. But money can change hands quickly. So in that sense, through free uh, contractual exchange. So freedom has a specific meaning. So freedom is not, it is a freedom to accumulate. But you are compelled to accumulate by the same token ultimately, because there's no other way which is condoned in markets. On these nominally free people, and the accumulation is according to individual calculations of utility. That is, actions are defined according to how they are going to increase or decrease your utility, and utility is basically calculated in terms of capital accumulation. Okay, so this is the definition of capitalism, individual transactions and elements of capitalism. But capitalist rationality in general is dedicated to accumulation of capital for its own sake, or you can say it alternatively as accumulation for the sake of accumulation. So this is the general interest of capital. That's the general interest. But this general liberal capitalism or individual capitalism says that the best way to do meet this general ideal, that is accumulation for the sake of accumulation in general, is to allow individuals which are who are dedicated to accumulation through competition among themselves in the market to accumulate. So that's the mechanism. So really, mechanism is the markets and individual, or should be market and individual according to liberal or individual capitalism. But that's not capitalism as such. Capitalism is the system which is dedicated to accumulation for the sake of accumulation in general. Okay, let's see the footnote and then we'll stop here. Okay, so footnote number 3: a broader concept would emphasize the historical connection in modern capitalism between the civilizational impulse of modernity towards methodical improvement of life, individual freedom, and technological mastery of nature on the one hand, and the possessive individualism of market exchange on the other. So we would have to ultimately understand the relationship between modernity, individual freedom, technological mastery of nature, and progress, and capitalism as well. But for us, for me, for example, capitalism is the primary thing, and these are all ideologies of capitalism. Modernity is an ideology of capitalism. But we'll pick up this point in the next session, inshallah.